I use AI in all of my classes, including 3 APs. You might think that I just had AI do all of my assignments, but if that were true, I wouldn't be making this video. This school year, I accidentally discovered a few pretty insane ways to use AI that most people never think about using. Every one of them was completely allowed and helped transform my grades from this to this. But the interesting part is that I wasn't some naturally gifted student who suddenly became smarter. I was just an average dude who stumbled across some pretty surprisingly good study methods. At the beginning of the school year, I was already overwhelmed. I was taking 8 classes, including 3 APs, and the course load already had me losing hours of sleep. I would genuinely walk out of class and hear people talking about stuff I've never even heard before. Now add that with how I have a naturally low attention span, and you get a dumpster fire of a school year. But it was around then when I started becoming super reliant on AI. So the first method I discovered is the most basic one. Instead of asking AI to do all of my work for me, I just asked it to teach me how to complete the assignments in a way that wouldn't put me to sleep. I would send it all my assignments and literally just say, teach me everything I need to know. And you know what? This worked out way better than it should have. And since it's super easy to ask questions and get your own understanding, this helped me keep up with everyone else, who unlike me actually paid attention in class. This completely changed the way I approach school because instead of just opening an assignment and having no idea what I'm looking at, I suddenly had all the tools necessary to complete it. Still, using AI was insanely boring, and I was looking at paragraphs upon paragraphs of information. One thing that made this much better was making the AI roleplay a character. For example, you could make your AI act like Fletcher from Whiplash, and suddenly every time you didn't understand something, you would just feel like you have this imaginary guy breathing down your back. However, after using this method for a while, I realized there was another big problem. Even if AI helped me understand all my assignments faster, I continued to spend hours watching lectures and taking notes, which wasted so much time. This leads me to method number 2. After using the first method for a while, I realized another thing. The biggest thing holding me back wasn't always the assignments themselves. It was the amount of time I spent getting to the point where I could even start them. I was spending hours just watching these lecture videos and taking notes, and honestly, I didn't know almost all the stuff I wrote down. And that's when the big GPT saved me once again. Instead of spending hours watching videos with my brain turned off and writing down every single thing the teacher said, I just sent the transcript of the lectures to AI and I would ask things like, explain this so even someone like me with a 5-second attention span could understand. Then this saved me a surprising amount of time. But the biggest difference wasn't that AI made shorter notes. The real benefit of it was that I could just repackage this jumbled mess of information. Normally, if you don't get anything in a lecture, you can just either rewatch it, which almost never works from personal experience, or just hope that a later lecture or an assignment teaches you, which also almost never works. Instead of being stuck on one hard concept for like 20 minutes, I could suddenly just understand it. For example, one of my AP classes was AP Biology. I spent like hundreds of hours just taking notes, but when rereading them, I felt like I was staring at hieroglyphics. It basically turned studying from me just consuming a bunch of useless information I was forcing myself to learn to me understanding all of this stuff suddenly. But there was still one huge problem. I was able to keep up and understand all the concepts and all the stuff in school, but I still wasn't able to put any of that to use. I still failed a bunch of unit tests and did really bad in one of my midterms. It needed some way to turn me into an academic weapon. And that's when I discovered the most powerful method I used all year. So after using the first 2 methods, I had a pretty good way of just doing stuff. Instead of actually paying attention in class, which was impossible for my attention span, I just postponed the learning and would learn the material after class in a much more efficient way. But there was still one huge problem. I could understand the material when we were talking about it, but the second I saw a hard question, I would have no idea how to solve it, since being able to know stuff and actually putting it into work are completely different. And this became especially obvious in my AP classes. AP Biology is infamous for just having a huge amount of memorization. Like, I understood all this stuff fine, but the second I saw a free response question on my midterm, I ended up writing spare me teach since I just gave up. And that's when I discovered what was probably the most powerful method I used all year. Most teachers don't have all the time in the world to explain problems and how to solve them. The thing is, you can literally just swap your teacher with AI. Instead of just asking AI to explain stuff, I would just copy and paste my free response answers and multiple choice from a practice test, and then use AI to grade it and teach me everything I didn't know. And honestly, this was super overpowered. Normally, after finishing a practice test, you have a few options. You can look at the answer key, which never explains what you need to know, or you could just wait for the teacher to grade it, which could take days or even months depending on the teacher. I'm speaking from personal experience. Some teachers will end up taking months to grade your work. But with AI, I could get feedback whenever I wanted. And the feedback wasn't just saying whether I was right or wrong. I would tell it to teach everything it thought I didn't understand. Like, my prompt would be, here's my test, tell me everything I got wrong and explain what you think I need to know in order to get it right. Literally just having this robot teacher on hand completely surpassed every other way I've studied. Every time I practiced, I would answer in a way that would just give me the max amount of points for the grade. For AP Biology specifically, I would complete free response questions, then have AI grade them using the official rubric, and then just tell me everything I need to know, and then rinse and repeat forever. Now, how has all of these methods actually helped me? I pretty much aced all my finals, which was a huge difference from the horrible grades I got the previous semester, and understood almost everything in the AP exam. I ended up with 2 5s and 1 4 in a class I didn't really care about. Now keep in mind this one last thing. I never woke up and was suddenly able to get perfect scores. All I did was use AI to cater to my specific weaknesses. I still put in a lot of work, it's just I was able to keep up after being super behind in class using these methods.